with its vast landscapes, ranging from coastal shores and highland plateaus, has long been a region of strategic importance, intertwined with the course of global geopolitics. Within these lands, the Africa General Service Medal, Elizabeth II de Grazia Regina, stands as a testament to the dedicated services of those who traverse this tramping, safeguarding interests and ensuring stability. As we traverse the complex world of global wealth today, it is the profound ethos of the Elizabeth II Africa General Service Medal of 1902 that serves as the lighthouse guiding the Good Fellows Initiative. It is my honor to invite back up to the stage our Chairman Lakshmi to present the Good Fellows Award to Fanny Cornejo.
She is the first South American woman to receive this medal. We are privileged to host her on this dais. I should say I met Fanny by accident. Nothing was pre-planned. 2 days before, Nanban team called me and said, hey, we would like to nominate somebody for the Good Fellow Award. And I said, okay, I'm happy to take a look at it. So we go through a rigorous process of selecting these Good Fellows. We don't think about recognizing them currently. We want them to live for the word Good Fellows. The word good is an acronym, Global Order of Outstanding Destructors. It's not just a word good. For us, this means life. Somebody who will live a life for that. So we said, we are happy to take a look at it. So I went to the nomination committee. I met her accidentally in the office for 15 minutes, just listen to her journey, and I called my nomination committee. I'm happy to recommend her. She said, first thing, don't expect me to speak American or a British or an European English. So I tell people I still speak, even though I have been living 25 years outside India, I still speak in Indian phonetics. And I tell many people, if you understand my language, it's better for you, because 1.3 billion people speak my phonetics. If you don't understand my language, it's a problem for you. So when she said that, I said, that's fine. And the toughest part was her name, Fanny Cornejo. Am I right?
Yes.
But easy to remember, funny. And she loves to be called as funny. She said, I'm happy to be funny. So let me introduce Fanny. She's a Peruvian biologist who is the co-founder and the current executive director of Yukon Speak Civil Association. Vice President for Peru of the Primitive Special Group of the International Union for Conservation of Nature. Member of the Sites Expert Committee of the Ministry of the Environment of Peru. She received the Medal of Honor of the Order of Merit for Peruvian women for an outstanding professional activity from the Ministry of Women and Vulnerable People of the Peruvian government. In 2023, she has been announced as the inaugural winner of the Emerging Conservationist Award, an award given by the prestigious Indianapolis Prize. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to introduce to you our next good fellow, Miss Fanny Cornejo, right? She is a biologist who has dedicated her life to the future of Peruvian primitives. This year, she has been announced as the inaugural winner, once again, I would like to remind that. We would like to hear your story first. She's young. That's what my first inspiration. She's, commonly they say, never ask a woman age and never ask a man the salary. But the way she spoke to me about her experience, the first thing I asked about what's her age. Right? That's what, how old are you to do this journey? It's a great journey of her. Please share your journey.
First of all, thank you everyone. It is such an honor to be here, sharing this space with all of you, with these amazing minds that are looking for different ways to change the world. So I am Peruvian, I'm a woman. I was raised in a country where the journeys of women working on science and working on conservation are not easy. But I was fortunate to have a strong mother that was able to give me all the opportunities in the world. For me, nature was something that was inherent to my growth. Both my parents were geologists, so I spent all my time traveling around the country. And let me remind you that Peru is among the 10 most biodiverse countries of the world. So for me, learning about our biodiversity was something that came from a really young age. As I was growing up and I was able to learn more about the country, one thing that really came out was the fact that we didn't know anything about it. That we didn't know really how many species we had. We were still discovering species. Many other places had the privilege that in the 1800s, naturalists were discovering new things. So that is a reality that we still have in Peru. We're still discovering new things, new biodiversity, and different ways how to be able to conserve them. Along this journey, I found this monkey. Some people saw that on my table. It's a stuffed toy, it's a yellow-tailed woolly monkey. It's a monkey that is only found in the Andes of Peru, and it's very mysterious because when you think about monkeys, I'm sure all of you are thinking about rainforests and warm and flatness, but no, this monkey is in the Andes. So this is clouds and rain and steepness and cliffs and doing really, really, really strong hikes. When I found about this monkey and that in Peru no one had studied it before, I was very young. I was just still in college. So, with the impetus of, youth, I was like, okay, I guess this is it. This is my niche. This is something that no one is doing anything about, and let me try to be able to provide some support. I went on my first field expedition when I was 19 years old. I spent 5 months in the middle of the forest, watching these monkeys and following them around. In the cliffs of the mountains, it was extremely difficult. My hands were frozen because of coldness when I was trying to take notes about what these monkeys were eating, what spaces they were using. But one thing that I did, and it really has come after me throughout these 15 years that I have worked with these species, is that I couldn't follow them. But there was one individual, a young female, that was up in the trees that will always wait for me. So I was following the monkeys and they will go fast and they will be trampling and falling and all wet and cold. But this young female would wait for me. And I remember at that time thinking like, please monkeys, I need to study you. Like, please let me study you and I promise you that I will dedicate my life to make sure that you don't go extinct. And here we are, 15 years later.
She said, when she met, she said she's an anthropologist. I asked her, do you study human? She said, no, I study monkeys. My next question to you is, it's an awesome journey, but you had multiple choices. But what was a compulsion in the last 15 years? You might have faced a lot of challenges. What's the biggest challenge?
So one of the things that we need to really start thinking about is that we're facing a climate crisis and we're facing a biodiversity crisis. And something key is that we need to make conservation mainstream. This is a topic that should be spoken in every space. We shouldn't be waiting for conservation nonprofits or for ministers of environment to discuss conservation. This is something that all of us should be thinking about because it is not longer our future, it is our present. We're seeing the effects of climate change everywhere. Every day in the news we see everything that is happening. So the main challenge that we now have is how we bring everyone together to be able to work And the thing is that this is not something that is difficult to do. Organizations like mine have already been working on the ground with local people, with the support of different organizations. And here I'm very proud to say that we received the support from the program Mothers for Mother Nature, from NAMBA Foundation. And through support like this, we're able to change the lives on the ground and make sure that conservation is not only a dream, but it's something that is sustainable. And something that also brings development. Because sometimes we think that, no, protecting forests and working with the most vulnerable people is something that is not profitable and may go against different interests. But that is not the case. If we think about it, for a sustainable world, for all of us to thrive and live in, we really need for all of us to come together and work together. And like I said at the beginning, we really need to make conservation mainstream, and we really need all of us to care about it.
If you have all the possible wealth accessibility, what would that one thing you would do for this planet?
The one thing that we really should be doing is, first of all, making sure that we really think about our actions. For example, every morning we drink a cup of coffee. Do we really think where that coffee is coming from? Do we really think what is the effect in the forest? We think about the farmers and what is the journey that they had to go through. If they are being fair paid? Do we think about the waste that is generated? So the one thing that I would work on, if I would have all the access of the world, is to make sure that everything that we consume on every day takes all of these aspects incorporated. That they protect biodiversity, that they make sure that everyone lives a healthy, dignified life, that we're protecting also the sources for the future of ourselves and our generation.
Thank you. Let's end this conversation by listening to your organization. What do you people do? You are a not-for-profit organization, right? Mm-hmm. Please share us what do you guys do, or what's your ask from this crowd. Feel free.
Thank you. So my organization is Yunkawasi. That is an indigenous word in Quechua that means house of the forest. What we do is that we want to achieve nature conservation by making sure that everyone has access to a dignified living, to human well-being. To do so, we work with an integral approach, where we work with policymakers to make sure that we have environmental policies that don't exist only on the paper, but that are implemented on the ground. We work with the local farmers that sometimes are causing deforestation and sometimes are causing the destruction of our Amazon. However, that is not caused out of evilness. This is caused because of a lack of opportunities, lack of investment. So we work on providing that. We partner with different organizations around the world to be able to have the resources to provide them with this opportunity so they can change their lives. Many people ask me, how do you get local farmers to change the way that they are working and to be involved in conservation actions? And actually, we don't have to convince them, because everyone wants what? Clean water and fertile soil. And that's where all the products that we just enjoyed during this wonderful dinner come from, for the farmers that are working on the ground and have access to that, clean water and fertile soil. So it's really not a challenge in the matter of convincing someone. It's a challenge in the matter of being able to provide the opportunity. My organization has faced the same challenges as most nonprofits, which is sustainability of our operations. And something that we frequently discuss is how we make sure that we're not living out of charity. How do we make sure that, for example, if any one of you want to invest in what we do, we have returns, and that we have impact that is measurable, and that your investment is a seed that will grow. And what you are doing will provide a solution rather than just, giving the same amount of money every year, because we all get asked, and I'm sure you all do. Someone that I met before was telling me that, oh, how refreshing to meet someone that is not thinking about making money for herself, but is wanting to get funding to be able to have impact on the ground. So that is what we need, to be able to partner with people like you that have interest in changing the world. And like I said before, this is something that is not rocket science. This is something that we already know how it works. We have a wonderful model on the ground. For example, with Mothers for Mother Nature, we're working with indigenous communities in the Andes of Peru with local tubercles to be able to have like native potatoes, to provide them with access to maintain their traditional practices, but also to make this profitable. In a way where we empower women, we empower communities, and they all are stewards for nature conservation.
Thank you so much, Fanny. The future seems very bright, and thanks to people like Fanny, our hope for a better world is only strengthened. Thank you for sharing your inspiring journey with us. We look forward with excitement as to what the future holds for you. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in celebrating the work and the life of Miss Fanny. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.